Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I want to say all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the house of David. Salutations to you brothers throughout the four corners of the earth, teaching the truth and righteousness and sincerity. To you Israelite foreigners, come back home to the truth. To those that passed away serving the Lord, the dead in Yahweh Shai shall arise first. All right. I know a lot of y'all, the first thing you're noticing is the shades. You know, it's bright out here. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be driving here and not being able to see ahead of me. You know what I mean? You know, it's just not going to happen. You know, Lord willing, of course. You know, so you know let's not be petty. But this video, I want to talk about the situation with Nasi. You know that he's being accused of child molestation. And I want to start off by saying I don't know not one fact of the situation. I literally have no idea of his guilt or innocence. You know, I don't know. And because I don't know, I'm going to do the right thing and not judge until I know. I have nothing to say about the situation until I know. I know that it's old charges that were brought up that resurfaced on top of new allegations, but I don't know what happened 20 years ago that he was first accused, and I don't know what's going on now with him. You know what I mean? I've met him, I've chopped it up with him, seemed like a cool guy, cool brother, but if he's guilty of it, you know, then may he get what he deserves. If he's innocent, may the accusers get what they deserve. You know, but what the point of the video is, the videos, you know, the reason why I want to talk to y'all about it has nothing to do with whether he did it or didn't do it. What I want to talk to y'all about is that there are false accusations out there, or there can be false accusations out there. You have people that do that shit all the time. You have children, you have had children, many cases where children have said that, you know, somebody molested them where they didn't. You know, so you have to be very careful to start judging upon hearing, oh, he was accused of child molestation. Even if you hear that it's confirmed, you need to do the diligence and find out how it's confirmed. You know, that this is how we're going to build a nation, and we're going to build a nation of people that are ready to judge. You know what I mean? We have to get the details and the facts straight before we say anything. And if you already have the details and the facts, you know, I've heard that there aren't any out there really that for public knowledge. But if you're one of the people that does have the details and the facts, then go right ahead and judge and bring it out. This is just for you brothers out there, and I'm not saying it because I want to cover up any sins he might have done. I'm saying it because what if tomorrow somebody accuses another brother that's prominent of doing something that he didn't do, and people are going to be quick to turn their back on him and judge him, and they're going to be wrong, and they're going to owe that man an apology. You know, so I want to say now, you know, before at least I know any details about this Nasi thing, I want to say that, you know, I'm not going to sit here and be a judge about something that I have no idea about. You know, I don't know. Again, I have no clue whether he is innocent or guilty of it. You know, and I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, this makes him look guilty, that makes him look guilty. Make him look guilty is not a proof. You have to have proof, not a whole bunch of coincidences or a whole bunch of things that appear to look a certain way. You have to have proof, evidence, witnesses. And you even have to vet witnesses, because you know that those are the motherfuckers that get people caught up in shit they didn't do. You know, you have to really look into the situation. You know, that's unfortunately you know, that's just what has to happen. You know what I mean? You know, it takes more to convict somebody, even in the court of truth. Even when you're in the truth, fuck the white man's law. It takes evidence to convict people according to scriptures. You know, it takes, like, you have to really, like I said, you have to do the diligence. Don't be a lazy shit and say, well, everybody's saying he did it, or he hasn't said he's guilty or innocent yet, you know? So he must have done it. Yeah, it makes him look guilty, but it doesn't mean that he did it. It doesn't mean he didn't do it. You know, like I said, my purpose of this video is not to judge his situation. It's to use it as a talking point to Israel to just basically give you an example of the way we prejudge situations. The scriptures talk about judging a matter before you've heard the whole thing. You have to hear the whole thing out first. You have to look into it. And listen, we might not give a fuck about Nasi. I can't say that he's my best friend or even an enemy. So I have nothing vested in whether he's guilty or innocent. You know, but I will say that in general, we have to do a better job of judging people, judging brothers. Scriptures say, he that is spiritual judgeth all things. All right, so if you're spiritual, first off, I'm going to tell you one thing. A lot of brothers with that same scripture that I just quoted, they think automatically because they're at camp with garments on that they can say that they're spiritual. No, the scriptures are very precise. A lot of brothers totally skip over he that is spiritual, and they just want to judge all things. No, you have to be spiritual. You have to be in tune with the Most High's, you know, the way the Most High wants things done. You have to be in tune with that. Then you can judge all things, because you're a capable judge. You're able to look at evidence. You're able to look at things, and you're wise. You can look into a situation and say, this is right, this is wrong. But if you're not spiritual, you know, if you're not really, like, you know, because like I said, everybody in this truth is going to say they're spiritual. 9 times out of 10, if you're an Israelite, you're going to say you're spiritual. You know, but it's not for everybody to judge. It's for he that is spiritual. Those are the ones that are supposed to judge all things. You know, you can't, if you're a merciless ass nigga, you can't judge shit. If you don't have no mercy in your heart, if you just want to kill, you're not spiritual enough to judge shit. I would definitely not want you as my judge in any case if I was accused of anything. Straight up, man. You know? But this is what the type of situation that we're dealing with is. Something that you know, if back in the day as a nation, we would need qualified people that A, have mercy, B, are wise, C, are spiritual. You know, you have to have somebody spiritual. And the mercy doesn't come in where if he did it, you know, you give him a light sentence. No, that's not mercy. Mercy is if mercy in this case would be towards the victims. Mercy in this case would be towards the victims. You know, but you have to have mercy. You know, judging somebody and not putting them to death, or, you know, that's not mercy. You know, I'm not gonna let a fucking child molester walk. No, that motherfucker got to get stoned. You know what I mean? But we have to confirm that he did it. Part of mercy also is making sure that he did it before you fucking sit here and make videos about him, condemning him and saying, oh, he you know, and it's kind of like the Antonio Brown rape charge, right? Because Us that believe in Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, we already look at him as, hey, he doesn't believe in Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. So now he's no good to us. So you're already on thin ice because of it, but that still doesn't mean that he did it. And it still doesn't mean he didn't do it. So that's the important detail that we have to go over and we have to talk about. All right? If we're going to judge the matter. I mean, it's not for us to judge. We're under the so-called white man's laws. You know, but, you know, if he did it, like I said, you know, going back to the old days, we would have handled it a certain way. You know, but, again, for us to get back to the old ways, we have to not be, you know, not deal with rumors and all that other bullshit. We have to get to facts. You need to know whether he did it or not. You have to do the diligence. And, you know, just to recap once again, I just want to make this very clear. This video is not to teach y'all a lesson about him. This video is to teach y'all a lesson about judging. And it's not saying, I'm not telling y'all not to judge. I'm saying that in order to judge, you have to judge righteous judgment. And righteous judgment means you got all the facts, you studied the situation, and then, you know, you've come with a solution. You know, that's what the Most High wants. The Most High doesn't want a bunch of 100 motherfuckers saying, see, this is what you get when you don't believe in Yahweh Shai. And, oh, you know, this motherfucker did it. You know, he looks like he's guilty, so he fucking guilty. You know? I've been accused, you know, with all due respect to the brothers that did it, because we're cool now, but I've been accused of being a part-time Israelite. You know, when now, after years, you know, even though that's a much lighter charge, but now, you know what I'm saying, at this point in my life, and even at that point in my life, all my friends knew that I was in the truth. Many of my friends saw me at camp for years. I've turned away friends because of the truth. I've lost relationships because of the truth. You know, so that's just an example of an accusation that was totally false. But when people were saying that, they're like, oh, well, he tries to, you know, do this, and he dresses fly, and he makes rap songs for you know, worldly rap songs and shit, and not even knowing what the fuck the purpose of those songs was. You know? But, you know, it just goes to show. And in this case, it's even worse, because the people that were accusing me legit thought that was me. The brothers that was saying that I was a part-time Israelite actually thought that I was a part-time Israelite. So that shows you even worse. You could have a false accuser that doesn't even know that they're falsely accusing you. They could really think they're telling the truth about you. You know, so that's why you have to be extremely, extremely careful when you're in this truth to judge. I'm not saying don't judge. I'm saying when you judge, make sure your judgment is accurate. Make sure that you say the right thing. Make sure that if somebody's got to get condemned, because people can die off of your words. You know, you might have somebody that follows you, and you be like, yeah, this motherfucker's a child molester. And then they go around, they be like, oh, that motherfucker might be a nigga's next door neighbor. Then what are you going to do? You might get this motherfucker murked, and he didn't even do it. So again, that's why the scriptures say we have to judge righteous judgment. We have to be accurate in the way we assess a situation, you know, and figure out if this is a guilty person or if you have to figure out if this is a guilty person or if they're an innocent person. You know, we're not a hate group. We're not a lynch mob. You know, look at the movie Rosewood. That movie is about a black man that was false accused First off, a black man that was invented, let alone false accused. And then the town went and said, hey, any nigga will do. Let's kill any black person. It turned into straight up, let's kill black families and everything so-called black. You know? That's how it becomes. So you have to be very careful of false accusations because they can actually do real damage to people. They can do real damage. You can get somebody killed by making a video talking about somebody doing something and they may not have done it. So that's the type of judgment. And I know a lot of people ain't gonna listen. There's probably about 100 videos about Nasi right now adding to the accusations. And motherfuckers rationalizing and reasoning in their own minds without any facts saying he did it. A lot of goofy motherfuckers doing that shit. Because a lot of you niggas are goofy in this truth, man. Like, what are you in this truth for? You're in this truth to kill and destroy? Or are you in this truth to actually live it and to be part of it? See, a lot of brothers, they teach the truth for the nukes. You teach the truth for that one moment where everything ends. What about where everything begins again after it ends? Nobody, well, I'm not going to say nobody, but a lot of brothers don't talk about that. A lot of brothers don't talk about, and when they talk about it, they only talk about getting your rod blown by women of every fucking nation. They're not talking about, hey, we're going to get this is the way we're going to get our nation in order. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. A lot of brothers don't want to learn this truth to actually, make it a part of the rest of their life. A lot of brothers is just like, the nukes are coming, the nukes are coming. And you're right, the nukes are coming. But what are we going to do after the nukes drop? How are we going to live? We got to get our minds ready now. That's why you don't see me, that amped up anymore. I'm not amped up, man. I've been thinking the nuke's been coming for years, and I'm still waiting. But guess what? I'm still gonna wait. It's called patience, man. Long suffering. That's the life that I'm about. That's the life, motherfuckers say, oh, you're not about that life. That's the life that I'm about. That's what I'm trying to do. The nukes are the nukes, man. I can't control them. I'm just a teacher. I'm humble, Lord willing, humble servant of the Most High. That's it. You know what I mean? But I want to serve the Most High. You're not going to serve the Most High if you're just sitting here, the nukes, the nukes, the nukes. And you're not sitting here trying to actually get to balance and get to a lifestyle and a mentality that is essential for us to be servants of the Lord. Again, something simple that's not really simple as learning how to judge. Learning how to look at situations and not saying, well, this motherfucker looked like a serial killer, or he looks like this guy looks like a child molester. He looks like he would do it. He hasn't maintained his innocence. He hasn't put up a video. Like a lot of you guys, YouTube is your whole fucking life. If you don't see it in a video, it doesn't exist. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, there's a lot of things that you're never going to learn if your whole learning is based off YouTube. Sorry to tell you this. Everything's not on YouTube. Or there's misinformation on YouTube. So, I mean, what are you going to do with that? We have to, as people, do better, man. That's my whole thing, man. I want to get us to do better. And that's why also when you see videos, a lot of times you don't really hear me screaming on brothers and saying, oh, y'all motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Because who's going to learn like that? All I'm doing is telling y'all what y'all doing ain't Yahawashi. You know, and like I said, man, for those that have done the diligence, if you found out that this man is actually guilty, then by all means, you know, go in on him. But for those that have not and are just sitting here repeating things and saying, you know, reasoning within yourself and not really taking in any information about it, shame on you. How can you call yourself a servant of the Lord or a man of the Lord and you're not doing things that the Lord would do? The Lord would get the facts. How are we going to have that tongue that nobody can gainsay? It's because we know what we're talking about. You have to know what you're talking about. You know? But that's it, man. I've ranted enough. 21 minutes. It's a nice size rant. It's going to take a long goddamn time with 200 mega speed internet to fucking upload. But it's just important, man. It's very important to learn how to judge in these last days. You know, we can talk about the nukes all we want, man, but we got to get to that point and hope that we're on the right end of those nukes. And hope that we're on the right end of those nukes. And if we're on the right end of the nukes, we have to start preparing ourselves now for what we're going to be doing after that. Prepare ourselves now. Prepare ourselves to judge righteous judgment, to gather data, to get information. Don't be fucking lazy, man. This truth isn't for lazy niggas. Got a lot of lazy dudes that sitting here, you know, fuck it, I'm not going to research nothing, but I'm just going to do a video talking shit about something. You know, laziness, man, listen, if you're lazy, you can't be a servant of the Lord, man. You got men out here that sitting here, you know, like, yo, when I first came into truth, I had school and I had work, and I made it my ass to the school to learn this word. There was no fucking YouTube when I came in this truth. There was no YouTube. So how was I going to learn? I had to go take my ass to Newark. At the time I was living in Elizabeth. I had to take my ass to 12 William Street, take a bus to 12 William Street in Newark, and sit my ass in the class and learn the word of the Most High. And I was in college and I had work, and I still made it. So you guys out here, I don't have a lot of sympathy for guys that sit here and say, oh, I'm trying to make time to learn. No, there's no, I'm trying to make time to learn. Nothing. Make time to learn. If it's important to you, we'll make time. You know? But anyway, with that, I'm going to say all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the house of David. Salutations to you brothers throughout the four corners of the earth, teaching the truth in righteousness and sincerity. To you Israelite foreigners, come back home to the truth. To those that have passed away serving the Lord, the dead in Yahawashi shall arise first. Shalom.